Hey now, welcome to Omnibros Live on a Wednesday. I am Omnidog, joined with Comics Guide, aka Lou. What up, Lou?
Hey, how's it going? Happy. Oh God, it's Wednesday. Oh my God, what day is it anymore? I don't
Hump
know. It's
Hump Day,
oh
Heffalump Day.
oh my goodness.
Um,
It
Lou, Lou threw out this idea about vampires this morning. I'm like, I don't have any vampire books, and he listed like 12 books. I'm like, oh yeah, I have all these books. And
hmm
then I found a bunch more. And so I think I can hold my own talking about vampires. This is a good point, though. I don't know anything about the Vampire Slayer. Oh yeah, it's January 31st. Thank you, Kane.
Thank
Good to
you.
see you. And here's Larry's library. And William Lee says, we need your spawn to talk about Buffy, LOL. Yeah, I don't know. I've never seen the show, never seen the movie. The Buffy verse, I would love to get into it, but I still haven't seen Doctor Sleep. So, I mean,
Hey.
and I haven't seen Breaking Bad. And somebody was jamming me up in the comment section. You haven't seen Breaking Bad? I'm like, it's on the list, dude.
No. Hold on. I think the greatest sin of all of us that we have discussed in the chat over the last few weeks that you have not seen is one by the late great Patrick Swayze. You have not seen Roadhouse. How have you not seen Roadhouse?
it I don't know. I did
Oh,
see Ghost or whatever that
oh,
movie is
just
with Whoopi Goldberg and Patrick Swayze. Um I you know what else I never saw? This isn't Patrick Swayze, but I never saw Footloose.
I could forgive Footloose.
I'm not
It's
getting you off this, am I?
no, I'm sorry. How it's Swayze in his prime, dude.
I don't know. It just the I guess the trailer never appealed to me.
Oh,
Uh
Sam Elliott. You love Sam Elliott.
I do love Sam Elliott, yeah. And
With the best.
Patrick Swayze did have a magnificent head of hair. I will
Oh,
say that too.
oh, gorgeous. Oh my goodness. A beautiful head of hair. It's you love the mustache. I'm Sam Elliott. How do you not oh
Wow. I didn't know you were going to take it so personally.
I am a very passionate individual about Roadhouse. I love it. Patrick Swayze rips a dude's throat out at the end with the power of Tai Chi, which now we know Tai
Wait,
Chi is kind of bullshit, but
I
still.
thought Tai Chi was supposed to be like a meditative type of thing or something. It's not. What is Tai Chi? I thought that's where you went out into a field and started going "Wah," or something.
That's what it is. But in the world of Roadhouse, you can
Okay.
use it to rip somebody's throat out literally. So
Oh, well, hmm. Um, to, are you actually suggesting I move it to the top of the list?
yes, yes, I love Roadhouse. I'm sorry, I have an
Wow.
unapologetic love for that movie.
Wow. 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 What, I just talk elevator. I just watched Roadhouse a month ago. Man, that movie goes for it.
Absolutely.
Oh, Kenny's even piling in on me. Jess, how have you not seen Roadhouse? uh, Never saw Footloose. No, I did see the play that my daughter was in though, so I got the gist of Footloose, but they
Okay.
didn't do a musical of Roadhouse. Um, so my daughter wasn't in that because it wasn't in a musical. But but be nice until it's time to not be nice. Is that from the movie?
Yes, it is one of the great tenets of life that you learn from Roadhouse.
Uh,
Oh my god.
yeah, that's actually what Hayden. Nice to see you. Uh, isn't Prime remaking Roadhouse? I think they've already remade it, right? Is it out yet, or is it
Some,
just
I think it comes out in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that.
because I have to admit that okay, now you're really gonna get pissed at me. That trailer looked interesting to me compared to the old trailer of Patrick Swayze. I know, don't take this personally, but that
Don't do
trailer.
this. Don't do this. Do not besmirch the
I
name of Patrick Swayze on this
I
podcast. Fucking Bodie from Point Break. How do you not watch?
I don't have anything against Patrick Swayze. I just complimented his hair. I'm sad that he was taken at way too young. That was a complete rip off. Yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, True Graphic, get me out of this.
Swayze also has one of the best SNL sketches of all time with Chris Farley.
Oh
for
yeah,
Chicken
yeah.
Bills.
That is one of the
Brilliant.
greatest ones.
Oh my god, it's brilliant.
Oh, was he supposed to be Batman, or is that just something Next Imaginat's thinking of in his head?
I've never heard this. I didn't know Patrick Swayze was supposed to be
I'm
Batman.
not dissing it. I just haven't. Whoa, passionate people in the chat too. Oh, even Lars. And everyone should love Roadhouse. Lars, wow. I haven't read the book or seen the movie based on Stephanie Meyer, but the comic adaptation by Young Kim is not bad. And wait, are we talking about vampires?
I think he's talking about Twilight.
Oh, Twilight. Okay, but the
Yeah.
comic adaptation by Young Kim is not bad. And everyone should love Roadhouse. Well, thank you. No matter what anyone says, listen. Peter Griffin knows Roadhouse. I haven't. Well, it's possible I've seen those episodes.
Oh goodness.
Oh my gosh! Now I'm really in trouble. Jesse, say what? Yeah, that's what set it off in the Omnibros chat. I think maybe what is this, Wednesday? Maybe Monday, or last week or something. And I was like, Roadhouse. I may have even said something really stupid like Roadhouse is not a movie that needed to be remade. And I may have, the sarcasm may not have been picked up on Lou's end, thank God. Then I really would have been in trouble. Okay. I mean, if you think I should see it before, oh, forget it. No, this man needs to finish Dragon Ball Z. Kane with the, what is that, manga and anime or just manga? Manga or anime? Or is it both?
That's anime, I think.
I still need to see Spy X Family, our second season. Oh, yeah. Just got back from a trip, so the Comic Slayer's probably asleep now. About Buffy stuff. Jerome's here, and we were just doing these voices before the show, our favorite Alfred Hitchcock voices. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. YP's here with that boss. That's Magic cool. By Archer. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, that is cool.
Let's see. Doc James is here. Aria's here. Aria, I'm interested. Why, if in fact it was you that was the official Scott Stapp, why are you not being official Scott Stapp anymore? Because that really cracked us up. Like every time. That was a joke that just kept on giving. And I'm not asking you to go back. I'm just wondering, it's up to you, Aria, but I'm just wondering why'd you change?
Yeah, it's kind of been weird seeing the resurgence of Creed in pop culture over the last year with all the memes and videos and stuff going up online and everything. And I'm like, wow, I guess Creed is dad rock now. Holy crap. That's what's going on now.
Even T-Lar Blunt's wife made a reel making fun of his love for Creed. They were in the car driving, and I still have it saved in my photos because it's so funny. She's just sitting there while he's singing it. Of course, he knows all the lyrics to everything, and she just looks into the camera and goes, "Creed?" Makes this face. It's so great. I should find it and see if I can.
Well, hold on. If there is anybody in this world that unironically loves Creed, it's Tyler. That
Oh yeah.
does not surprise me one bit at
No,
all.
he definitely really loves them. Creed loves them. Just there was a musical version of Roadhouse. Roadhouse. So what's your excuse now? Was there a musical of Roadhouse?
I don't know. I've never heard of that.
I actually agree that Roadhouse shouldn't be remade. Perfection came. Wow, this is a losing battle. The entire chat and Lou are ganging up on me.
Mm.
Before I saw the Batman, I thought, really, the Twilight guy playing Batman Bruce Wayne, but then I gave Robert a chance and loved him in the role. I agree with that, Kenny. I love Pattinson.
Mm.
Explain yourself, Kane. Okay, she says Vampire Hunter D is mostly in prose format. There is an 8 manga adaptation, 2 movies, and an original graphic novel that was Kickstarter only. Messages from Mars, I think the name was.
Oh, cool. I didn't know it ran that deep. All I've heard of was the anime, but apparently I'm completely oblivious to this. That's pretty cool.
Kane, I don't think I'm going to show your next comment so as to not further inflame my co-host. Although, go ahead, I am going to. I never saw Roadhouse, and I am completely fine with that. Maybe Kane and I should have a watch party in the Discord this weekend.
Oh my god.
Wait, so are you serious, Hayden? There was a musical of Roadhouse? I'm going to smash these heads now. It's time. I know I'm small for a bouncer or something.
You know, so you know how when you're Jewish and you go through a rite of passage to become a man, you go through a bat mitzvah. I believe that's how it's pronounced.
Bar mitzvah, and the women go through a bat mitzvah.
Thank you, sir.
Those are 2 of the things I know.
Watching Roadhouse is a rite of passage, I think, for every man, especially if you watch it with your father when he's about 3 beers in and is shirtless. But it's kind of a weird rite of passage. And
are there cigarettes involved too?
There may have been cigarettes and other stuff around the house that I can't talk about. It is a rite of passage. At least it was in my house as a kid.
Okay. Well, gosh, I don't have anything to say for myself except I'm sorry, and apparently I need to see this movie. I love movies where people are kicking ass using martial arts, so that looks like he does it shirtless and stuff a lot, right? Is he shirtless in a lot of it?
You know, it's been a while since I watched it. I don't think he wears a painted on t-shirt for the most part. That shirt is
just like ripped to shreds.
That shirt is very tight.
Wait, what was like the first movie Patrick Swayze became famous for? It wasn't Ghost, was it? Or was it?
No. That's a good question.
Because I felt like he was in a really, like the first thing he was in was really popular, and I thought Roadhouse, and I'm just saying what I thought at the time, which was 40 years ago, this sounds like a step down for him because he's like really popular, and apparently it was a step up for him. I apologize for not knowing that.
Was it Dirty Dancing?
Oh, Dirty Dancing. Yeah, that was the big breakout for him, right? Even I know nobody puts Baby in the Corner, and I haven't seen that either. I haven't seen that either. But
wow, he's been in a lot of stuff. Yeah, I mean, it was. I jokes aside, I was genuinely very sad when I had found out about his passing, especially towards the end of his life. He had cancer, and he fought it for a very, very long time. And in fact, he had a really badass TV series that he was able to get 1 season off the ground before he passed away. And they were going to do a second season, but his health just declined so quickly that he couldn't get that second season. They said that during that first season, in between takes, he was in really rough shape. So it sucks, man. But man, he passed away. I think it was like 61, something like that. Way too young.
I think he was younger. Wait, I thought he was younger than that. I thought he was. I don't think he was as young as Chadwick Boseman, but I thought he.
He was 57. No, Swayze.
57. Okay.
Jesus, even younger. Way too damn young for him to pass.
Well, I can promise you, when you get where I am now, 57 seems young.
It's young. It's still young. It's
Yeah, I think a Roadhouse watch stream is a great idea. Oh, but Kane can't attend. Are you just making this up because you don't want to see it, Kane? I'll be out birthday celebrating with the fam. No, I believe you. James hasn't seen it either. I feel like James has seen everything. How have you not seen that? Dirty Dancing, Outsiders. He sings in Dirty Dancing also. Heyo, AS. Patrick Swayze became a household name in the. Oh, that was the Civil War movie, right? TV series North and South.
That was before my time. I've never seen that.
I think I was in my 20s. So when was he? What year was he born? How long has he been gone?
He died in 2009.
2009. Okay, I was just turning 50 then, so he's 7 years older than I was.
Yeah, 1952 is when he was.
Okay, born. Yeah. Red Dawn. Oh yeah, Red Dawn was his first big lead role in an action movie. 57, 2009. Patrick and Kevin Conroy. Yeah.
He died less than 2 years after he was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. Jesus.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
It was, but I think they might have caught it late stage. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, well, that's supposedly one of the most painful, if not the most painful way to go. And just the pain my pancreas gave me in 2019, I believe it. So everybody loves Patrick Swayze and Roadhouse. Yeah, that's the main selling point for Lou. That he rips his hand out with a single bare hand, rips his throat out. Oh, okay, Kane. But if we schedule it for the following weekend, would you watch it?
I have the 4K of Roadhouse right there. It's on the shelf. So just let me
know. So of all the things I've got on my watch list, you're saying Roadhouse needs to jump to the top of the list.
Oh, absolutely. No, but unironically, Roadhouse is a very fantastic film. It's really fun. And Patrick Swayze gives a hell of a performance, as well as Sam Elliott, who he does not have his iconic mustache.
It looks like he's like got a lot of components for it on his face. Yeah. He's like unshaven, but not full on covers half his mouth.
Right. He's got the stubble. He's got the stubble going on. But he does not have the iconic mustache that we come to know him to have now. Which has Sam Elliott ever been young? I don't think he has.
Old.
I think he's a Highlander. I don't think I've ever seen Sam Elliott young. It's pretty crazy to me.
I actually did see him in the movie Mask, and I feel like Mask was a long time ago with Cher and Eric Stoltz as the kid behind the mask. Maybe he looked old in it there too.
Maybe.
I don't know. Okay. I feel like Roadhouse might be consuming me some point in the, like, how long do I have before you get really pissed? I wanted to see Dr. Sleep first, but okay. Where is it even streaming? Is there like a Roadhouse channel where it streams 24/7? See, now there's an idea for you.
You know what? Let me take a look. Give me 1 second. Let me.
Okay.
Because I think I might. Give me a second. Hold on. I'll be right back.
Well, AS and YP are two initialed people, haven't seen Roadhouse. Who doesn't have a copy of Roadhouse? Lars coming in strong for Roadhouse, and I would have not thought that. But Roadhouse is probably on Tubi. What up, NFL dude? Patrick Stewart. February 10th is also a birthday. You've got an awful lot of birthday celebrations coming up. I'm telling the truth. Okay. We might be watching it on Discord, although I think I'd rather see it on my own screen, like so I can blast the sound. Because I missed like the first 10 minutes of Blink for Doctor Who, of knowing what was going on, and I missed the first 10 minutes. I couldn't hear it really that well, so I may need to watch that. Although I may not have a choice. Things happen. Roadhouse is on Max. Okay. Thank you, John. I have Max. It would be a good reason for me to. Oh, well, I think we should work it around Kane then, and definitely watch it on the 17th and 18th. What's my schedule like on the 17th and 18th? I have a birthday party.
No, sorry. I thought this came with a digital code. It does not. So this is my lovely copy of Roadhouse.
Oh, well, Kane is free on the 17th and 18th, so maybe we'll have a big watch party.
Here's the thing. I knew I was in for a treat with The Big Lebowski when I first saw it, because you were the one that pushed me to see it. And I saw Sam Elliott in it. And he's only in for a little bit, but I love the scene he's in.
Yeah, the dude abides.
The dude abides. Jesus. And I still hold true that I think Earth 3 Jess is just the dude in another timeline that owns a Taco Bell in Paluma somewhere.
Taco Bell, what might have been.
And he drinks White Russians on the weekend.
Well, I have that part down. John Anderson says Roadhouse is on Max, so maybe we can have a streaming party on the 17th or 18th in the Discord.
Kick Larry's library out. Kick Larry's. Don't besmirch Roadhouse. It's fine.
Kind of Roadhouse neutral. It was fine. Not my favorite, but it's okay. I generally like Patrick Swayze. Oh,
I'm kidding, Larry. Tyler,
we were just talking about you, T-Lar. Did you know? And we were talking about your love for Creed and how I have a little clip that Jenny made fun of you listening to Creed. But I feel like that was 2 or 3 years ago. So she's been nonstop making fun of you for loving Creed. Oh. Look at that picture. How can anybody not love? There he is.
Tyler's gearing up for tax season, man. He's got to be busy right now.
Oh, yeah.
He's got to be getting swamped.
Yeah. We made fun of you loving Creed. We didn't make fun of Creed.
And you're breaking my heart.
Come on. I know. What? Ghostbusters? How dare you?
You're better than this.
Even Ghostbusters 2 was hilarious.
I like Ghostbusters 2.
Highlander, was that with the I feel like it was that guy, the Scottish guy in his kilt or something.
Sean Connery.
No, it was that other. Oh, maybe he's French. He's got a really strong chin. I can't think of what his name is.
All right. I got nothing. So do you want to hit the transition? We'll go right into the topic for tonight.
That's when we'll lose all our viewers. When we go to the topic, they're here for tangents.
They're for Roadhouse.
Roadhouse also features, I saw that, Ben Gazzara in fine form as the even sleazier B villain foil to his Saint Jack and the killing of a Chinese bookie characters. Now, Doc Elevator saw First Blood, 10 out of 10.
So I remember that may have been a mean.
Christopher Lambert. You're right. That is who I was thinking of. Is he the guy in Highlander?
Yes, he is.
That's all I remember from Highlander, and that may have been a meme. There can be only one. I haven't seen Afterlife. What was that one? Was that with kids or women or aliens or what was that?
Uh, Afterlife is the one that came out about 3 years ago. It's really good. It's actually really fun, and it captures a lot of the spirit and the essence of the original ones. They even bring back the original cast
Oh,
for kind of a cameo towards the end of the film. But it's really good. I really enjoy Afterlife, and I'm looking forward to the new one.
oh yeah. True Graphics saying can't wait for Ghostbusters Frozen Empire.
That's gonna be fun. I really I'm very happy with where they're going with the franchise. Even though the thing is with Afterlife is that they recycle a lot of what makes the first one so good, including the villain. I'm like, okay, well that works, but I'm hoping with this new one they go in a different direction.
Uh,
They play it
Kenny's
safe.
got issues with Superman's heat vision. Blue and Supergirl and Arrowverse, it was red, which it should be.
Ooh, Dr. Elevator, yes, sir.
Afterlife has Carrie Coon in it. Who's Carrie
Yeah.
Coon?
Carrie Coon is an actress that she most notably, I think, well, I first heard about her from that TV show The Leftovers, which is one of the greatest television series of all time, in my opinion. The Leftovers is brilliant. Not Leftovers. Is it Leftovers? It's the one on HBO. I think it's
Uh,
Leftovers. Yeah,
Leftovers. Yeah.
yeah. It's so for those of you out there that haven't seen The Leftovers, it's on HBO. It's well worth your time. It gets better every season, and it has one of the most brilliant, I think, endings to a TV series. It's what would happen if one day, I think it's 3% of Earth's population just disappears.
Is that like the
Gone.
Rapture or not the Rapture?
You don't get you do or do not get a definitive answer at the end of the series. But it's really dealing with the fallout of that and tragedy and how we as humans deal with tragedy and unexpected it's I love The
Whoa.
Leftovers. It's brilliant. It's so good. But I think when it originally was coming out, it got kind of a bad rap because it was Damon Lindelof. It was the guys that he's one of the head guys that made Lost. And everybody kind of went into it with that same mindset of like, well, we want the answer for what exactly is going on, but they flat out said at the beginning of the series the series isn't about that. We're not going to give you a straight answer as to what exactly happened.
This is for the
Um,
Leftovers?
it's for The Leftovers, but
Yeah.
it's so good. It really is, man.
Hot take Ghostbusters 2016 was the only one I ever made it through. And Larry says, I still like you, Hayden, it's despite that insane statement. Leftovers is an amazing show. Damon Lindelof's best show. Didn't Damon Lindelof do
I,
Watchmen, the show?
I would argue Watchmen is still his best show. I love
Well,
Watchmen.
I saw Watchmen, but I haven't seen the Leftovers. But it sounds intriguing. So the Leftovers, it was supposed to be how not where they went, but how we deal with the fact that they were taken or disappeared or something.
Correct. The whole thing about The Leftovers is that it's again, it's not so much about where did these people go, despite the fact that there are some people in the series that try to answer that question. It's more about us processing and dealing with grief and the different ways that we process and we deal with grief and tragedy and all the stages that we go through.
Mm.
And once you get to the final episode, everything really hinges on about 10 minutes in that final episode where Carrie Coon delivers this incredible monologue that if she does not stick the landing on it, the show falls flat. And she nails the monologue. It is brilliant. It's so good.
Wow. I kind of want to see the Leftovers more than Roadhouse now.
It's
Whoops, did I
not a
say that out loud? I didn't mean, I thought I was just thinking it.
it's not a long series. It's only 3 seasons and they're only like 10 episodes each or something like that.
I I I don't think I recognize Carrie Coon. Uh from anything, but that doesn't mean anything. I don't watch hardly anything. So I like her various hairstyles that they're all showing here. Okay. What's this one? Oh, that's from a fan casting site or something.
The first 5 minutes of The Leftovers is so good. The way everything gets set up. There is one particular scene involving a child in the back seat of a car that is oh man. And Carrie Coon's Carrie Coon's character plays a woman who she's making breakfast for her family. She's going about her day, and unfortunately, every single member of her immediate family disappears that day. Of the 3% of think about what the odds are for something like that. 3% of Earth's population disappears like that. And every single member of her particular family just disappears one day.
So it's just her that's left.
In her immediate family, yeah.
Wow.
And she is dealing with, what the fuck? What are the odds of every single one of my family, my kids, my husband, gone? A lot of people across the world, they deal with it, but it's crazy for her because it's literally every single one of her immediate family disappears.
So she's pretty much the star of The Leftovers.
It's an ensemble cast. Everybody has their own thing. I think it even goes as far as there is a woman who is pregnant and the baby inside her.
That's weird.
Yeah. They go
That's
that
really
far
disturbing.
with it. They think that much into it.
Wow. Okay. I kind of want to see that now.
It's great. It's really good.
She was also in Gone Girl, which I still haven't seen, but I know I want to see it.
Yeah, she's good in Gone Girl.
As Ben Affleck's brother. Wow, she's very talented.
She plays the sister.
Well, he's saying brother, so maybe he's saying she has great range. Oh, she was Proxima Mid. Now you're talking about something in Infinity War. Proxima Midnight. Okay, well, I've definitely seen her in that. Thank you, Hayden. Oh, Damon Lindelof. I thought that was J.J. Abrams that did Star Trek. Both of them did the reboot of Star Trek?
I think Lindelof worked on script on the writing on those movies.
I love those reboots. Oh, and I thought she was like what's that woman that played like 9 different parts in oh, she's Scottish and Suspiria. She played like the monster and the psychiatrist and the head of the convent or whatever. Who am I thinking of? She's a Scottish actress. She was in that movie with George Clooney. I'm so terrible at this game. What? Michael Clayton. Who am I thinking of, Hayden? I think she's Scottish. It's not Tilly Walden. She's a writer. That's who I'm thinking of. Tilda Swinton.
Tilda Swinton, yeah.
Okay. Anyway, I got that. So good for me. Whatever. Okay, so now I want to see The Leftovers, and then maybe I'll see Roadhouse.
Yeah, no, it's Leftover. You will not be disappointed in Leftovers because when you first think, oh, it's only 3% of Earth's population, still 3% is a good chunk of missing people just disappearing one day out of nowhere.
Okay.
And what that would look like. So it's great.
That's pretty interesting. That sounds really interesting to me. And okay. All right. So, okay, Roadhouse and The Leftovers. Freaking, I'll add it to the list now. And apparently I have to put it at the top. Roadhouse. Movies to see. It's going up. Oh, I still haven't seen that movie. I don't want to tell anybody what that one is because I don't want them to spoil it for me. Okay, Roadhouse. Roadhouse. And The Leftovers. The Leftovers. Okay. No, because I assume that because you are a person of wealth and taste.
This is very true.
3% of 8.98 or 9 billion people. That's still a big chunk. Yeah. Tilda Swinton. Yeah. Conan O'Brien said she looks like him. I think Conan O'Brien has. Thank you. I think Conan O'Brien has better hair.
Conan O'Brien has amazing. He's also like amazing here. He's also like 6'7", something.
Yeah,
stupid like that.
apparently. Okay, so you said vampires, and I'm like, what else besides American Vampire do I own? And you listed off something that I had and I hadn't read, but I did own it. And what a good book this is, The New Deadwardians. This was really good. This first of all, it's not safe for work in some of the drawings because it does have some full frontal. Well, it has a lot of full frontal, but that's neither here nor there. It's just a part of the deal. Do you want to give a rundown of it, or do you want me to? Since I just read it and I might remember some of it for once.
Here's the deal. I read this like 10 years ago. Oh. So this is all you, buddy. I made a recommendation because I think you'd like it. It's a detective story involving a world where it's pretty much all vampires.
Yeah. It's apparently in the 1860s. You know what I liked about this book? Is it just jumps into first the upper classes of. It's set in England in the 1910s, and the upper class of England are all vampires. Somehow the dead have come back to life as zombies, but it's not a zombie book at all. They're somehow the vampires got created to become like this unkillable killing force that could kill the zombies, and it's mostly it's only told in Britain in the 1910s, but it has to, apparently it's a worldwide thing where zombies have infiltrated the earth. And there's also there are also regular old normal people, like, say, for once you could say I'm normal. I'm neither vampire nor werewolf. I'm just a regular person. But you also lose your feeling. You may live forever and you don't necessarily need to feed, but you also lose kind of your lust for life. I'm going to have to quit Discord as much as it hurts me because it's chirping too much here. So there's a murder mystery. One of the vampires, upper class, washes up ashore, and he's not killed by the 3 known ways of killing a vampire, and he's missing his right hand, and there's no real murders to be solved at this point. So they call on this detective who's still left to solve this crime of how this upper class guy from Parliament ends up getting killed because it's not one of the 3 known ways you can kill a vampire. And then it goes into all kinds of kind of class warfare things where the zombies smell living people, so they just congregate at the gates, and the normal people, who normal like me sort of are do all the heavy lifting and grunt work, but they want to live forever too. And so they're always going on strike and causing problems because and it gets, some of the there's rioting and stuff that breaks out. And it's really an examination of like kind of class warfare at that time period in Britain. but it also, what I really liked about it was that it told the story as it went along. It didn't have like a big explanation, like in 1860, this is what happened. And it didn't have like a first page reveal, like this is what happened. It works you in, it gets explained as you go along really organically. And so I
Mhm.
found it to be really well done. He ends up, the detective ends up having to go to a house of pleasure in a not safe place to see if they recognize the man, to see if he could get some leads.
Mhm.
And this is what some of the artists like. So one of the benefits is he gets some of his, he's been dead inside for like 50 years, serving the crown in his capacity. He's got this is a picture of him back during the wars when he was leading the fight against the zombies. And there he is with his normal, wait, what do they don't call them normals. They call them, a different word uh, than that. But the normals, he's got a normal driver. All the upper class are. This woman just lost her husband, the dead person,
Yeah.
and she has to paint on her mascara because she can't cry because um, she's a vampire. I don't. I never saw that they really. I think all it is just a long life or immortality. I didn't see that they showed that the vampires generally went out in like feeding frenzies. They wanted to keep it to themselves. It sounds like they got turned medically somehow.
Yeah.
I'm not going to question that because we're reading a book about vampires and zombies. So I'm not going to ask how medically they could get turned into vampires, but he does a good job of tracking down the case, taking it from where where the case leads him, and it takes him into um, a bunch of different directions that he didn't think that it would lead him, and then it has a twist, but then it has another twist that I thought was really good. No, there are no vampire dogs. That's how you know you're near a vampire, because the animals don't dig them at all. Vampires, dogs and horses and everything go crazy when they're near one of the undead.
Hmm.
And it's
I
a
have
big
not.
conspiracy thing too. The whole thing.
I have not read that particular book in a very long time. I do remember enjoying the art. I recommended it to you mainly because I know your love for crime, and I know your love for the horror stuff. So I thought, yeah, this sounds like this would be kind of right up Jess's alley. Um, I do remember really digging the book. Now, I remember it felt like this was a setup for something way bigger, and maybe that was the case, but I'm not entirely sure. Was it supposed to be a mini series?
I feel like Lars said something. The new Dead Guardians is fantastic. It was discontinued way too early, or was it a mini series? It has a solid end that makes complete sense. So I think it was I don't know, it's four, I think it's like 5 issues maybe. I don't think it was discontinued early. It doesn't, I mean, it makes sense to me. However, unlike like iZombie, which was
Mm,
discontinued too soon and they had to rush to tie up all the loose ends by the last couple of issues, this didn't seem rushed at all.
okay.
um, Everything seemed to fall into place to me. um, but it takes you places. Where it led made sense, and then where it really led also made sense.
Yeah.
It it was it did a good job of keeping me off balance, and it's not You're right. I'm glad it was only 5 or 6 issues. What is this? It was in 2012. It came out 1 through 8. Okay, well, there's short issues. Dan Abnett, he's a solid writer, so I knew this was going to be good because I've really liked a lot of his stuff. So I really dug it. You're right. It's more of a police procedural that just happens to be with vampires, and zombies don't even really play into it so much as the vampires were created so they could be like an unkillable killing force to kill all the zombies that had been created. Oh yeah, I've heard that the new True Detective's really good.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's very good.
Javier, hey y'all, new comic fan here. Can y'all recommend any Black Panther comics?
I mean, most people would probably tell you to read the Christopher Priest stuff, but I think you weren't the craziest fan of it, Jess, if I'm not mistaken, from the 90s or 80s, 90s, 80s.
I didn't care. See, here's the thing. I'm a terrible person to ask for a recommendation on it because I haven't read the Coates stuff yet, but I feel like I've read everything else and it just didn't do anything for me. Like the Christopher Priest stuff didn't do anything for me, and there was another really popular run that I can't think of who was it. Was it Don McGregor that did it? I feel like the best Black Panther is the movie Black Panther. That's the one that I now I haven't read Coates' run yet. I do have all 4 books. I haven't read it yet, but
there was a 2-issue limited series. It was either 2 or 3 issues for Secret Invasion.
Right.
That is
you had me read that.
Jason, that is written by Jason Aaron. That is fantastic. It's really, really good stuff. The Skrulls try to invade Wakanda, and needless to say, it doesn't go well for the Skrulls.
No, it's really, that's what I'd recommend. It's like 1 or 2 issues from Secret Invasion. It's one of the Secret Invasion tie-ins, and it was awesome.
It was great. It's fantastic.
Yeah, Don McGregor. Okay, I wasn't into that one. I feel like okay. They planned on it for 8 issues, and if it did well enough, they planned on doing more, like a season 2 type of deal. It was a limited series. Okay, so I guess it didn't do well. Well, it's coming. I'm 12 years too late to promote the heck out of this because it's really good. And if nothing else, Lou did me a solid by getting me to read this because now it's one of my books of the year. 12 years too late from Dead Guardians.
When we do the Omnis, Jess's 2010 choice of the book of the year. Okay. For me, I'm going to go with a gem that was out of print for a very long time, but came back into print. And it was BPRD Vampire.
I have that. I pulled
that was strangely out of print for a long time. For whatever reason it was. It's Gabriel Ba, Fabio Moon, working in the Mike Mignola Hellboy universe. And this spins out of Hellboy or BPRD 1948.
Yeah.
And it tells the story of one agent from the BPRD who, after the fallout of 1948, he is on a quest to get revenge against a group of vampires. And what that entails and how that story plays out is so much fun. I think this is the first time in the Hellboy universe that we got an authentic vampire story from Mike and the team. And it doesn't disappoint. This was a gem for a very long time. And the fallout of this actually carries over into the series later on. It's been a very long time since I've read it, but I do remember enjoying the hell out of this. And not only that, it's Gabriel Ba and Fabio Moon working on this book, and they're fantastic. I mean, you can't go wrong with either one of them working on the title. It's gory as all hell. The vampires are truly horrific, and not only it's just a fun read all around.
Yeah, it's this, as Lou said, this had been out of print for a long time, but it got reprinted with it's part of a collection. Maybe it's with BPRD 1948. I don't actually know. Somebody out there knows. But yeah, this was one of the harder to find books, and it was like impossible to find.
Yeah.
But I think I need to read BPRD. I haven't read this, but I need to read BPRD 1948 really first to get a flavor of what's going on in this.
Yeah. Yeah. It does come in handy. You can jump into this perfectly fine without knowing what happens, but it is, at one point, it was really difficult to get a hold of, and I think the trade alone was going for about $40 or $50, something crazy like that. Yeah, that particular trade.
Yeah. But it got, I don't know if they reprinted it in like a library size thing or if it was reprinted in something else, but it definitely was one of those ones. There was a handful of these BPRD and Hellboy books that were hard to find.
Yeah.
And they've been reprinting them. I think there's only like one or two. Rise of the Black Flame, maybe the last one that's still hard to find.
Okay.
And I'm sure that'll get collected in something.
Yeah, Dark Horse is really good about everything involving in the Hellboy universe. If it goes out of print, it usually comes back into print very quickly. Hellboy is an evergreen title for Dark Horse. I mean, the book's been going around since the 90s, and I have fallen off of the Hellboy stuff in the last few years, mainly because once BPRD, what was it called? BPRD, basically the end of Mike's story going forward. Once that ended, I was like, okay, I think this is a solid jumping off point for me. Now, there have been several titles in the last few years that have continued that story and have progressed, and we see the fallout after the end of everything and how that story plays out. And it's been pretty interesting stuff. But for me, it just has not hit the height of that OG BPRD series.
Was it Plague of Frogs?
It was Plague of Frogs, and then after Plague of Frogs, there was another BPRD series, and I can't.
Hell on Earth?
Hell on Earth. Yes.
Because there's also some BPRD books in there with time periods, like 1952 through 1956, like that.
Right, but
you're talking about Hell on Earth.
Yeah, the main BPRD stuff was Plague of Frogs, and that ran for a very long time. And then after Plague of Frogs, it was Hell on Earth. And I think there was something else that closed it out, but it's been a very long time since I've been involved in that. Hold on. BPRD arcs. Let's see. Vampire Others. The Devil You Know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hell on Earth cycle. Okay. Right. So The Devil You Know was actually, if I remember right, the end of the series proper at the time. It has since gone on, and we've gotten now stories that keep the story going, but it's set in the far off future and the fallout of all that. Man, it's good stuff. Honestly, everything Hellboy is really good stuff. The thing is with Hellboy is that a lot of people fall off the book because a lot of Hellboy stories are just short 1 to 2, 3 issues, and you don't think it really ties into things. But Mike will bring in something like BPRD Vampire that you think is very minor, but it becomes a much bigger thing later on down the line, and it could even be something as far as years and years and years and years down the line, but it works out and it plays out very well.
Yeah. I read through, I feel like it was 2018. I'm going to have to go back and start over. I read through Plague of Frogs book 3, and I said, I'm going to take a short break. And that was 7 years ago. Or 6 years ago. So I feel like I've read all the Hellboy library. No, I didn't get to Hellboy Library Edition 6 either, because there's that Mignola-versity website that has the reading order and and now it's like that It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia scene where he's got the stuff up on the black the bulletin board where he's
Yeah.
tying it all in together. And you're right, that's what Nate Burkholz, who wrote the fabulous Omnidog theme song, he's also a madman, not madman, Hellboy madman. He's a madman about Hellboy. He knows everything, and he's been going back and trying to do a chronological order read through, and he says it's just completely intertwined with each and everything, and it's crazy. But I definitely want to get back into it. But I think RD I'll have to start over with Plague of Frogs.
There is so much out there in terms of content for Hellboy. It's absolutely ridiculous that I think if anybody were to ask me where should I start with Hellboy, I'd be like, hey man, just pick up the first volume. Pick up that first deluxe edition hardcover that Dark Horse has put out with that beautiful black black cover on it. Because those library editions are actually absolutely a steal for what you get content wise in there. And man, it's all fun. It's all fun stuff. Now, the first arc of Hellboy is a little bit rough. And that's because that was the first time that Mike wrote it, and he was writing it with John Byrne. John Byrne gets a co-writer's credit.
And I don't think I ever knew that.
Yeah, John Byrne actually helps, I believe, helps co-write the beginning of that first arc, because that was Mike kind of getting his footing. And it's solid, but it gets better as it goes.
Huh. Yeah, and then there's Abe Sapien. Then there's which can be read by itself. There's also Witchfinder that can be read by itself, and I have read that.
Witchfinder,
and then Witchfinder, and then there's Lobster Johnson, which is great, and that can be read by itself.
Oh, Lobster Johnson is so much fun.
You tell him, Larry. I have Hellboy libraries, all 7. I'm just going to read them straight through numerically. Order be damned. Oh, yeah, and then there's Baltimore, which I haven't read yet either.
But Baltimore is not in the Hellboy universe.
It's separate, right?
It's separate. So yeah, that is my choice, is BPRD Vampire. If you've got another one in the pipe.
This is a book you hipped me to, and I loved it.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Vampires.
Yeah.
I'm glad I listened to you.
We have talked about this series a lot on this show. It's so good.
Yeah. The first two, first of all, Nobody's Safe, which I like. This is Tiny Onion. He wrote the first two, and Nobody's safe in any of it.
Nope.
Which I love. And then the other two books I think are All Out War volumes 1 and 2, and they sort of fill in some stuff that happens. They're not a direct sequel to volumes 1 and 2. They fill in stories, I think, that Matthew Rosenberg did. And they're pretty good. They're not quite as good as this. They're really good, though, and worth reading. There's at least 2 or 3 stories in each of those books that are really, really good.
I'll be right back. I need to get my charger.
Okay. Those impending 4 monster-sized BPRD, I didn't even know those had been solicited next. There's going to be 4 monster-sized BPRDs? Wow. Well, that's good, because a lot of people haven't been able to read Plague of Frogs in hardcover anyway, because those have definitely not been evergreen. Baltimore is Vampires, though. Okay. I didn't know. I haven't even, I collected them, and I think that's now out in 2 omnibuses, right? Might catch up on the Hellboy universe once I'm done catching up on Spidey stuff. I have a big read through of X-Men planned for this year, and then catching up on Batman and Superman. And then maybe Hellboy. but I'm not promising anything because I don't even know if I can get through all of that X-Men stuff. I think DC vs. Vampire All Out War takes place between the first and second volumes of the main series. Can read a little confusing. Yeah, you definitely need to read these first two before you read the All Out War stuff.
How great is that big reveal when you find out who kind of kicks things off with the vampire stuff? And they logically, that character's power set makes a lot of sense with what they reveal.
It's awesome.
Yeah, that one actually caught me off guard. I was like, oh shit, okay, yeah, that actually kind of works.
Yeah. And I like that the same as in Deceased, that no one is safe, and also Suicide Squad Blaze. Have you read that?
I haven't. No, I haven't.
I
read
think
that
you'd really dig that. It doesn't have anything to do with vampires, but it has to do with no one being safe. That's a Cy Spurrier book, and it's really, really crazy great.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I need to catch up with on that BPRD. Wow, on that DC versus Vampire line. I'm behind, but there's only so many hours in the day, and I've got a lot on my tablet that I think I'm going to be sitting down this weekend and just going, you know what, I'm going to blaze through some of this stuff because they're quick reads. They're super fun, but they're quick reads, and I think the wonderful thing about that is that it's out of continuity. You don't need to worry about, well, do I need to read 50 years of Batman? No. Just go in, man. If you know the basic characters, you're going to have a great time. You're going to enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah, same for Deceased. And, well, you should be getting it. I bought the standard size hardcovers for you, Doc. They should be helping you out. Hayden, this is a qualified X-Men read through. I'm talking modern. I stopped at X of Swords. I read I read all of the House of X and then Dawn of X and then X of Swords. So it's after X of Swords, like Reign of X and Trials of X, and all those things that I'm going to read. I'm not starting with Claremont. I someday I will read Claremont, but first I want to read this modern stuff because it really appeals to me. Y'all are amazing. I wish I started watching y'all earlier. I became a fan late 2022. It's never too late. We're right here for you.
There you go. There's a lot of content to sift through, man.
Yeah, and you're also lucky you're living in the age of reprints. So a lot of the stuff we'll talk about is, if it's out of print now, it'll be getting reprinted or collected or something. Because it's a different era. I mean, the collected editions market is still relatively young. And so, as opposed to going back to 1939, so they're still figuring out a way that all this stuff can be properly collected, and whether or not they should keep it in print, or if they should keep it in print. They haven't been. This is when You Were Gone. Next Imagine It says he thought there might be 4 monster-sized BPRDs, and I was like, "What? I hadn't even heard of that." And he says they haven't even been announced, but the odds are very high that they will be between the success of monster-sized Hellboy and how long the HCs have been out of print. The near very fine condition Discord estimated that it would take 4 monster-sized HCs, but could amount to do even more by the time they'd finish coming out.
Yeah, Dark Horse is really good about reprints and keeping that stuff all together. It's very rare that something from that universe, which is the Hellboy stuff, goes out of print and stays out of print for an extended amount of time. Usually, they're pretty quick to upgrade that. I mean, how many times have we gotten BPRD deluxe editions, hardcovers, omnibuses? Same thing with the main Hellboy title. But those library editions are still just the peak of that series. Oh my god, that was a hard sell when
for you to sell.
When I was cleaning house, when I was planning to move out here, That was a tough sell when I had to get rid of those because man, I
Yeah.
love those library editions. And along with the Berserk Deluxe editions are on my. Once we get a bigger place, we have the proper space. I'm gonna get copies of those again because they're beautiful.
Yeah. And BPRD, I know with Plague of Frogs, I haven't paid much attention to the in and out of printedness of everything else, but I know Plague of Frogs hardcovers, those haven't been reprinted, and I think even the trades might be out of print. I'm not sure. So that would make the most sense to put it in a monster size BPRD, get that Plague of Frogs into people's hands, because I really enjoyed what I read. I only made it through volume 3, but I remember liking it a lot. And of course I thought I would take a short break, and that's not been the case. Lars does bring up something that you recommended that I had and that we both have read, and that's I, Vampire.
Yes. Yes. Oh my God. Yes. That is a series that unfortunately got sadly maligned before it even came out because the cover of the first issue of the original cover when the first issue was previewed was horrible. It's a terrible cover. It's the one on that trade actually.
Oh, it's this one?
Yeah. That is not indicative of what the book is at all. So when they were first doing previews for New 52, this was the cover that they used to show off the book, and it does not represent at all the quality of what's in that book. I Vampire is fantastic. It's got art by Andrea Sorrentino, which is gorgeous. It's beautifully drawn stuff. Not only that, it's a really awesome story. I Vampire is fun.
Yeah, it really is. And I think they're out of print, but not hard to find. Meaning that you can go on eBay or something and you're not going to be paying $50. It's I think this and Demon Knights and Frankenstein
Demon Knights
and Voodoo were like the 3 supernatural ones that didn't do well for New 52, but I know this. I mean, the Sorrentino art is amazing, but the story is really amazing too. I really enjoyed it as for hundreds of years, vampire kept mankind safe from the horrors of the supernatural world thanks to the truce he made with his ex-lover Mary. Okay, that's about it. But now the truce has reached a bloody end, and Andrew must do everything in his power to stop Mary and her dark forces from wreaking havoc on an unwitting human populace. Yeah, so the truce has been broken. Oh,
been there. It happens.
Batman's in this book? I forgot about that.
Yeah. It's been a while. I haven't read that book since it first came out. So
yeah, I read it. I think this cover is more indicative of what it's like. It's like bloody mayhem and just really great stuff as he's trying to get his trying to get the vampire nation under control.
If you would, my next choice.
Oh, let's see if I picked it.
I'm gonna go off script a little bit since this is just covering vampires in general. I hope you don't mind if I talk real quick. I'll be fast about what I think is the perfect vampire film.
Vampire
and that
film,
is,
okay?
yes, I'll be quick.
No, don't be quick. Take as much time as you want.
Near Dark, directed by Catherine Bigelow. This is a 1980s vampire film starring Bill Paxton.
Oh.
And yes, have you seen this?
Near Dark. Was that okay? To go ahead and maybe I feel like I've seen it, but go ahead and explain.
Yeah, so this movie, it's all about a young man who one night he ends up running afoul to a group of vampires, and one of them happens to be Bill Paxton, and this group of vampires that they travel from town to town in Texas, and they just cause all kinds of hell. It's super fun, super bloody, super violent. There's one particular scene involving a bar that is iconic. I love Near Dark. I think it is the perfect vampire film. And sadly, the Blu-ray has been out of print for a while. I'm hoping we get a 4K disc soon of it, but Bill Paxton was one of my favorite actors growing up as a kid, and when he passed away, I was so bummed out. But man, if you're looking for a great vampire film to watch, Near Dark is about as good as it gets, man. Catherine Bigelow directs the hell out of this. The cast on this is great too. It is, let me see.
Yeah, I'm
So you've
looking
got
at it.
Bill Paxton, Lance Henriksen, Jeanette Goldstein, Jenny Wright, Adrian Pasdar. Ah, just so great. So good.
I don't think I've seen this.
It's on Shudder. It's worth your time.
Okay, no, I haven't seen this. Gosh, how have I not seen this?
Yeah, it's so worth it.
Catherine Bigelow's solo directorial debut. Wait,
Catherine Bigelow was married to James Cameron at the time. That's James Cameron's ex-wife, and she would go on to do things like Hurt Locker and
yeah,
things like that. She's known
okay.
for directing badass action movies.
Yeah. How did I not see this? I feel like this would have been right when I wanted to see things like this in 87 and stuff.
Oh, you'll dig the hell out of this, Jess.
Okay, I definitely want to see it. I think I might want to see it more than Roadhouse, but we'll see. Okay. Shoot, you said vampire movies, and I thought, what about Dusk Till Dawn? Did you like that?
I love Dusk Till Dawn. Dusk Till Dawn's really fun. The thing is with Dusk Till Dawn is I don't recall anybody ever knowing it was a vampire film until you get about halfway through the movie, and then everybody gets fucked up in that strip club with Salma Hayek.
Right.
That's really where it's fun. Dusk Till Dawn's a great vampire film.
As the authority on all things Buffy, since Maddie and Kristen aren't here, you should check out Frey from Dark Horse. It's technically set in the show's world, but stands alone. It's vampire and sci-fi. Can confirm Frey is awesome. Great art too. Larry, they've made up. Larry's a man of distinguished taste, so Larry's forgiven him for his Ghostbuster criticism. Let's see. I love the original 80s. I think this is when we were talking about iVampire. I love the original 80s material for this series was in House of Mystery and created by J.M. DeMatteis. I haven't read the New 52 stuff. Yeah, it was one of the really good books from New 52. Same with those other ones I mentioned, Voodoo and Demon Knights, but those kind of science fiction-y horror books didn't really take off. You can get the trio from Amazon on for around $40. But the goat of vampire comics is Marvel's Tomb of Dracula. Gene Colan is his finest. Speaking of the greatest of all time, let's not forget Vampirella.
Vampirella. Go for it.
I have more Vampirella books than is really probably necessary, but this is the best of Vampirella Masters series. And first of all, the art in some of this stuff is crazy, and then it's got just a murderer's row, if you will, of writers that I have the all the individual ones. It's got like Grant Morrison when he was still friends with Mark Miller writing, Kurt Busiek, Warren Ellis, Alan Moore, Kurt Busiek, James Robinson, Mike Carey, Warren Ellis, Mark Miller, and Grant Morrison. Mark Miller by himself. They've each got their own individual books, and then this is like the best of. Well, it's called the best of. Mm-hmm. So. But they had a thing called the Masters series where they had all these high level writers and why am I blanking on the word artist? Okay, artists. And they were really, really good stories. I have so many Vampirilla books, it's crazy. For some reason, I have this thing about Vampirilla. And let's not go too far into it and figure out why. We don't need to try and figure out why. It doesn't necessarily say anything about me, although I'm sure it says everything about me. But I have a ton of Vampirilla, including Red Sonja and Vampirilla meet Betty and Veronica.
Wow, that is a thing I did not know existed. Wow.
This is a one and done, but
Okay.
it's very tongue in cheek, but very fun. And then
Is that like when Archie met the Predator?
probably, but there's also Vampironica, where
Oh, okay.
she's bitten by a vampire. The first one is by Greg and Meg Smallwood, who are brother and sister, with art from Greg Smallwood. And so, with art by Greg Smallwood, it's going to be good. And this first one is the only one I've read, but it is a blast because she's got to keep Riverdale safe from an incoming vampire invasion. She does she does a really good job, enough so that she got volume 2, New Blood. Now I haven't read this one, but it looks just as crazy as these other ones. This was back when Jughead, The Hunger, and Jughead, The Hunger, and some other stuff came out. Afterlife with Archie, they did that horror stuff.
Oh my
And
God.
they're actually really fun.
I so wish they kept up with those titles, man. That horror line was really good, especially Afterlife with Archie. I wanted more of it. It was so much fun.
Yeah, it was really fun. You're right.
Oh my God.
Near Dark is such a good vampire film. I think Turner Classic Movies did it last October for their Halloween month.
I love Near Dark.
Good movie. Fright Night over Lost Boys all day, every day. Wait, I've never shown this one.
Are you talking about the original Fright Night or the remake from 2011 or 2010?
I don't know. I know there's one thing we play in here. Here it is. I think it's from Lost Boys.
Yeah, there it is. I still believe.
I don't know that I've ever seen Fright Night. Was that a classic that I missed?
Fright Night is in some circles an underappreciated gem from the 80s. But they did do a remake, I want to say 2010, that was actually really good. It was with Colin Farrell. But
Fright Night?
original, yeah, they did a remake of it around 2010 with Colin Farrell and the late Anton Yelchin, who it was a fun movie. I personally have a soft spot in my heart for both. I think the remake is really well done. The classic is the classic for a reason, but you can't go wrong. Fright Night in general has been are both very good movies.
Oh, have you seen The Hunger?
I haven't seen The Hunger.
With Bowie and Sarandon and Catherine Deneuve?
No, I haven't
It's
seen
got a
it.
great soundtrack too.
You want to know something crazy? Warner Brothers is actually sitting on a Salem's Lot remake, Salem's Lot movie for 2 years, and they have not put it out for whatever reason. And it's directed by the same guy that did the Annabelle Origins movie. If I'm not, this is off the top of my head. I could be wrong.
From the Conjuring universe?
Yeah, which was really good. And for whatever reason, they have not. The movie's done, but Warner Brothers is just sitting on it. And apparently it's really good.
I hope they don't shit can it, because it'll save them $30 million in tax write-offs or however that works.
It's done. It's edited. The whole thing is ready to go. For whatever reason, they haven't put it out.
My favorite vampire flick is more of a comedy. It's so campy. My Best Friend's a Vampire. I don't know that one. Remember The Hunger being my favorite vampire movie, but I haven't seen it in 30 years. But I remember Bauhaus, Bowie, Catherine Deneuve, and Sarah Janet, just endless hot. Yeah. Yeah, Bauhaus was in the soundtrack of that. Original version of King's Salem's Lot is great in my opinion. Yes, Salem's Lot OG was great.
I've never seen it. I've never seen or read the book.
I don't think I have either. Oh yeah, the first Fright Night is terrific. Yeah, I think Harley and Ivy meet Betty and Veronica, and I think it also came out around the time that Adam Hughes' Betty and Veronica came out. Betty and Veronica came out, which was hilarious and really, of course, really well drawn.
Yeah.
But I wish Adam Hughes had time to write another book because he has a genuine sense of humor that's really funny. Best of I Vampire. Now, one thing I read in singles when it came out, and I pulled the collection, but it was just too chunky for me to reread as Vamps. It's like biker gang of vampire women who are on a tear to start a new life. But I mean, the art is very 90s, but the story was pretty darn good. I remember. If you can get past the super 90s art, which of course is not a problem for some people, they like 90s art, but I liked it because the writer said she put all of her previous anger that's ever been done, that anything she's ever been angry about, she put like in this book as revenge for all the rude things that had ever been said to her or something. Every nasty thought, evil impulse, or catty remark. Wait. Jess, read. Every nasty thought, evil impulse, evil impulse, or catty remark I ever choked down in my 30 plus years has been put on flesh, hopped on a Harley, and come alive in these pages. And it is. These chicks totally kick ass. I really dug this book, but I haven't read it since it was out in singles, and that was in the 90s. I just remember liking it enough that I needed to pick it up.
And you said you didn't have any vampire books. Look at that, man. Jeez.
I don't know what's in my collection, Lou. You know better than I do.
Look at that. Now, I think we would be very remiss if we did not mention, for Larry's sake, Tomb of Dracula. Right? I've never read it. I don't know if you've read it, but
back
it is
in singles in the 70s when it came out. Yeah.
It is a classic, right? It's considered a classic.
Yeah.
I think the Omnibus is out of print still, or it was.
The first, maybe the first two are, but I hope they reprint them and don't do something dumb like. I know it's being done in epic format, which is good. But I really feel like that's a book that I would like to pick up again because Larry's right; it is classic stuff. And I never even saw. I read the book Interview with a Vampire, then Vampire Lestat, then everything that Anne Rice has ever written. That sent me off on a big kick with Anne Rice, but I never saw the movie.
Oh, Interview with a Vampire?
Yeah.
I've never seen it either. I
love the book.
I still haven't seen Bram Stoker's Dracula, and I've got the disc right there. I need to. Is
that the one with Gary Oldman?
Yes, it is. I love Gary Oldman. Gary Oldman in the 90s would just show up and just chew up scenery in whatever he was in.
That leads us to your next favorite thing, which is Simpsons episodes, because they did a great Treehouse of Terror 10-minute thing taking off on Bram Stoker's Dracula with Mr. Burns playing Gary Oldman's part, and it was hilarious.
He's got the big white wig. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, man, I remember that. My next choice, I mean, this is a book that I think we have to mention it because it's we mention it every time this topic comes up. It's got to be American Vampire, right? I mean, some of you out there in the chat, this might be new territory to you. So we're gonna go quick over this because we have talked about this book numerous times. This is the book that made Scott Snyder who Scott Snyder is, a very successful writer.
This this came out before his Batman, right?
It was right around the time, but it came out before it.
Okay.
It was right around the time. And the big thing about this book when it first came out was that Stephen King's name was attached to it, and Stephen King was doing the backup stories. And the backstories are really good because it tells the story of Skinner Sweet, a vampire that you meet at the beginning of the story. However, the main story is really the draw of this, where you meet a young woman who her name is Pearl. And what year does this book start in? The 1800s?
Like the 1800s, yeah.
Yeah. Late 1800s.
Wild West in the 1880s, glamorous classic Hollywood in the 1920s, to mobster run Vegas in the 30s. It's really cool. Yeah, all the time periods he visits.
Yeah, and the thing is that Snyder ties into the American story into the vampire lore and how that plays in across different generations of America. And how these vampire cults and stuff like that have been influential in some of the biggest things that have happened in our country. It's a really wonderful story and a really wonderful read. I need to come back to it because the book stopped for years, and then he came back to it and he finished it. But I never picked that back up again. But there are so many memorable moments in it. Most notably, I love the World War II arc in this story, where at the time you were getting two different stories monthly. You had the World War II.
Right.
Yeah, you had Sean Murphy and Scott Snyder doing one part of the story in World War II, and then you had Raphael Albuquerque and Scott Snyder doing the other part of the World War II arc. And man, it's so good. It really is so good. I really love the concept of, in this world, the vampire thing is kind of treated as a disease. And depending on where you're from and your nationality, you have different aspects to you of what your weakness is, what kind of vampire you are, and stuff like that. So, for example, Skinner Sweet is the first of his kind, the American vampire. And because of that, he is not weak to direct sunlight and all this other stuff. He does have a really rather unique weakness, and I thought, okay, that's pretty cool. I'm not going to give away here, but I urge you guys, if you have never read American Vampire, it's really good. It's a lot of fun all the way through.
Yeah, and it doesn't need to be tackled like you have to sit down and blaze your way through two big omnis. I originally collected it. I originally collected it in singles. Then I started reading the standard hardcovers, and a guy locally that was a member of the Omnibus group said, I'd much rather have the hardcovers than the omnis. And I fell off where you fell off when they took a break, like after standard hardcover number 6 or something, somewhere in there they stopped.
It was somewhere around there because they did the main line and then they did Second Cycle, and Second Cycle continued the story, and that's about the time that I fell off, because after that, I think they took some ridiculous break, like 5 or 6 years, because they were working on different projects.
Yeah, that's right. And but so these haven't come out of the shrink wrap, so don't jam me up about it. I've read it before, but I haven't finished it, so and it's been so long that I need to crank these open and read them from start to finish. But yeah, that was a really cool thing that he was an American vampire, and so he didn't bring over any of the old world tropes that could kill him.
Yeah. And the characters are really so well realized and so well written. Because it's not just the story of Skinner Sweet, it's also the story about this young starlet named Pearl Jones, who Pearl has these big dreams about going to Hollywood and being famous and stuff like that, and what ends up happening to her and how things don't necessarily work out for her and how she ends up becoming a vampire herself and how that story plays out. is so good. I'm really due for a reread of this, and to finish it. So I think I might be downloading this tonight on the old tablet and firing this up again because, man, I remember really loving this story.
Yeah, and I fell off it like you said, same place, and and now of course I've forgotten most of it. I remember the old west part the best, and then where he meets up with Pearl in 1920s Hollywood and stuff.
Mhm.
And that stuff was really written well. And at first, I think maybe my inclination was, oh, well, Stephen King's writing this book. Who's
Yeah.
Scott Snyder? And then it became clear that it was Scott Snyder that was writing it.
Yeah.
And uh, I mean, he came on strong with that, and uh, New 52 Batman, and DC was his oyster at that point.
Yeah. Yeah. Since then, Scott's kind of not fallen by the wayside. He's just kind of doing his own thing. He's got his Substack. He's teaching courses and stuff like that. He's still writing stuff and he's still putting out content regularly, but it seems more like he's more interested in doing his own thing in the indie stuff right now.
Well, speaking of NFL Dude, let me grab this. It's still here in the...
What's that book he's doing now with Charles Soule, Undiscovered Country? I heard that was pretty good.
That is so good. That is really good. That would make for a really good TV show.
I think they're working on it.
Sorry?
I think they are working on it.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, I think so.
I really like that. Yeah, with Charles Soule. Yeah, it's really good. Now, I haven't caught up to it. I've read the first 2 trades and dug it immensely. Yeah. But NFL Dude says this is the Scott Snyder of old with Tula Lote's art, a ballad of love and murder. NFL Dude sold me on this. So NFL Dude, it's all in your hands now.
Honestly, I'm genuinely surprised we have not gotten an American Vampire TV show. It seems like it would be a given. You do each season in a different era of history in America, and man, it seems like that would be a given. I've heard this book. I need to read it because everybody says the same thing, that it's really, really good.
Yeah, I owe it to NFL Dude to read this sooner rather than later. Because Tula Lote's art is a gift, and if this is Scott Snyder writing at the peak of his powers, then this is something that really needs to move to the top of my list.
Yeah.
Yeah, Undiscovered Country, that and American Vampire, due to their episodic nature, I always thought those two would be good TV shows for Max, but who knows what HBO's doing? I don't know.
Trying to stay open, trying to keep the lights on. That's what they're doing right
now. They shelved Salem's Lot because of the strike last year. Stephen King gave it praise too.
That's a shame. I can't wait to see it. Man, I'm hearing good things.
Vampires by John Carpenter is awesome. Great soundtrack too. I thought I seen every John Carpenter movie. I don't know about vampires.
They Live? Have you seen They Live?
Oh, yeah. I'm here to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of bubblegum. Rowdy Piper. Am I right?
Oh, my God. Yeah. Keith David and Rowdy Piper, they've had that 10-minute long fight. It goes on forever.
Forever. He's just trying to get him to put the glasses on.
I know. Oh, my God, that movie.
Derek says Vamps is good. Oh, good. That's good. I definitely, now that Lou has me on a vampire kick, I wouldn't be surprised if I read American Vampire this weekend.
I need to. I'm going to download that. I need to read it.
Oh, here's Hondo. What up, Hondo? Near Dark is a hidden gem. I have to mention The Addiction with Christopher Walken cameo as a vampire starring Lily Taylor, directed by Abel Ferreira, King of New York. Hondo knows his movies. He knows his movies. The Addiction is 90s and is in black and white.
Oh, cool.
You also have the comic book adaptation of Lestat, the Vampire, published by Ballantine Books. I read all of Anne Rice. Oh, Jiminy Crickets. Thank you, Kane. we're talking about all these great, amazing graphic novels. Where can I get them? Well, Kane, thank you for asking, because that would be InStockTrades.com, where you can get your collected editions from 30% up to sometimes 65% off in the red tag sales. Don't forget your 2% loyalty discount at the end of every month, which was last Monday, 2 days ago. We gave away a $50. We do it every month. We give away a free $50 gift card courtesy of InStockTrades.com worth $50 worth of credit at IST. $50 or more in an order. There's so much information. $50 or more in an order in the United States gets you free shipping. And that's a big deal because shipping can cost a lot now. Fabulous customer service, fabulous packaging. That's InStockTrades.com. Where would I be without Kane? We would have gone right past this, and we owe him another one. Thank you, Kane. Woofa. I think Nosferatu coming out this year is going to be my new favorite. Is that? Wait, is anyone checking out the new Nosferatu remake later this year?
Me. That's Robert Eggers. Yeah, that's Robert Eggers. I'm definitely checking that out. Eggers is awesome.
I read the Rice originals, and the movie version of Interview is a near perfect adaptation. She was foursquare against Tom Cruise being in that role. She almost did not sign off on it.
Is it Tom Cruise or is it Keanu Reeves?
It's Tom Cruise.
Who's in an Interview with a Vampire?
Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt. And a very little Kirsten Dunst, which is very creepy, as the 6-year-old they turn into a vampire.
What movie am I thinking about where Tom Cruise is not Tom Cruise, where Keanu Reeves is a vampire? Is he a vampire?
Keanu Reeves is a vampire. I don't know, but yeah, she was not happy. Anne Rice was not happy at all about the idea of Tom Cruise being Lestat.
Oh, it is Bram Stoker's. Okay, Keanu Reeves is in Bram Stoker's Dracula. Okay.
Oh, okay. American Vampire ends with the 70s. Okay. 1976. That was the one that they came out with. The last one, I think. The Greaser Hot Rod arc in California was my favorite part of American Vampire.
That was cool.
I'm surprised there hasn't been a movie or comic based on the Gorbals vampire story. It was alleged vampire sightings in Glasgow that caused hundreds of children to arm themselves and go hunting for it.
Wow.
Snyder in the 2010s was DC's equivalent to Bendis at Marvel in the aughts. Both of them ran through everything, then went to creator-owned comics and teaching.
That's true. Yeah.
I read Snyder's JLA last year. The first volume was baffling, but the rest of the run was great. Can confirm. That first story was good, but then the Drowned Earth story, and Gio's not here, I can say it. It had to do with Aquaman, and it was a puzzler. It was baffling. I like the first story, and I like the rest of what I read, but and you have to read that to get to Death Metal because it bounces right out of Justice League JLA.
Death Metal has always been one of those things that I've always meant to come back to, but I never have read it. I've never read it. I need to.
Jess, did you get my email? Did you send it to Omni? You won. Okay. I'm in. Wait. Okay. Let's see if I got your email. I'll add it. Totally killer. That no. What's that? Gmail. Wait. Gabe, Sub-Zero, Kenny. Wait, no. Something's wrong here. This looks like this is back from September of 22. How is this current Omnibros email?
Oh, I don't know.
This is I've got Kenny Craley's from September of 2022.
Wait a minute. Wow.
That That's weird. I must not. This must not be our Prime stuff. Let me. Hmm. Well, Bob, I'm glad you spoke up about that. Send it. Send it to.
How about he shoots it directly to you? Do you have the
Yeah.
Omnibus email? That way
Let me give you my email address.
that way he makes
Omni.
sure it goes straight to you.
Yeah. Just a sec. Omni Dogs Vault. Yes, I have to talk out loud while I'm doing this.
Make sure you do.
Gmail.com. Yeah, this way we'll make sure. Bob, send it to here, OmniDogsVault2 at Gmail, and I'll make sure it's not getting sent in until tomorrow anyway. And then after 3 to 5 business days after that, it should appear in your account. So thanks for reminding me. That's weird how that inbox. That's weird.
Yeah,
How it
we'll
goes
figure it
back.
out. We'll straighten it
Yeah,
out.
I'm glad you spoke. I'm glad you spoke up. Thank you.
He's getting a nice gift card. And by the way, before we kind of call it, because it's getting pretty late for me,
Okay.
I rewatched Three Kids in a Comic Book or 3 Men in a Comic Book or whatever it is from The
Oh,
Simpsons.
the Simpsons episode.
Oh my god. Oh man. I forgot how much good stuff is in there. Where Bart goes into the backyard and he picks out all the weeds and stuff like that. And then at the end of the week, he gets 50 cents from the lady and he's so pissed. He's like, "Lady, if you think I'm going to say thank you for all that," and she goes, "You're welcome." He goes,
Boom. Doesn't he have some collection of some weird old money that he'd been saving up from his aunt's various visits to other countries, and he goes to cash it in and it's 26 cents or something, and the guy goes, ching ching, let the good times roll.
Well, there you go. Go spend it on some penny wishers and some movies. So mad. Oh man! And when they're fighting, they're fighting in the treehouse, and Marge goes, "Homer, you should check on the kids and see how they're doing." And there's a lightning flash, and you just see them kind of strangle each other. And Homer's on the couch drinking a beer, going, "They're fine."
This Kane's comment reminds me of our favorite Castlevania.
Alucard, yeah,
from Alucard. Castlevania was great. Was it the first 3 or 4 seasons? There was 3 seasons of it, right? They were so good.
4, I think, that were written by Warren Ellis, and they're good. They're great.
And I think they went ahead with the 4th one that I don't know. I felt it. The voice acting in those things was amazing.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's
yeah, Castlevania is so good.
Yeah, Warren Ellis wrote all those episodes, and they're so good. I gotta get going, Jess. We're kind of going a little bit late. I didn't think we would go this long on vampires, but apparently we had a lot to talk about tonight. So that's good. That's good stuff.
Okay, just one more thing from the back, the back seat where Lisa and Bart get into the discussion about Richie Rich and Casper, the friendly ghost, and they start talking about death. And Marge is like, "Kids, can you lighten up a little back there?" They're talking about death and stuff.
That is the first time I realized, holy shit, Richie Rich does look like Casper.
Casper's ghost is Richie Rich's ghost. Castlevania show was amazing. Castlevania Nocturne's first season was great. Oh, okay, that's good to know.
Cool, that's good to know.
And then Bart asks Homer for $100 for the comic, and he goes, $100? Boy, you must not think very much of me. Michelangelo? Yeah, that's
who drew it or whatever?
Yeah. Oh, good choice to get Sergeant Rock and Army of the Dead with your winnings. But that book is only like $14. You have $36 other dollars to spend there at IST.
Get the Omnibus.
Omnibus.
No, don't do that. Or do it. I don't know. Whatever you want. No, there's a lot of good stuff, man. The red ticket sale, right? That's going on right now.
Red tag sale. Yeah, that's right. If you go to the red tag sale, soon to be home of Omnibus. If you go to the red tag sale, you'll be able to find up to 65% off, and they're starting at 30% off is where their discounts go, and add 2% for your loyalty discount. $50 or more gets you free shipping on an order in the United States. Bob just won the $50 gift card on Monday, which is a great feature, and we're so glad that IST is continuing on with it. We're really happy that IST is happy with us still so far. Fabulous customer service, fabulous packaging. That's InStockTrades.com.
Awesome sauce, guys. Awesome.
Oh, and he will get manga with the rest. You peace and love, Bob. Tell us what you get when it finally comes in, or even when you just order it. I will. Now that it's on my email, I will definitely send it in with the invoice tomorrow.
You can get the Wonder Man Omnibus. At a disc, what is that going for now on IST? Wonder Man?
I don't know. Is it in the 65% off category?
I don't remember.
Oh, wait. Let me see. I mean, if you're really interested, let's see. Here's In Stock Trades, and there's the best of Red Sonja. Speaking of Red Sonja, what were you looking for?
Wonder
Man. Wonder Man, that Wonder Man.
A book they put out instead of putting out that Inhumans Omnibus.
That's right. It is 60% off. For $50, you could use your whole gift card and get Wonder Man. Wonder how it got made, man.
Oh, choices were made.
Did Lou get his Living Dead?
I did. Yes, I did. I have it right over there.
Oh, is that a 4K of Night of the Living Dead?
Yes, it is. I cannot wait to watch it this weekend.
Nice.
They're coming to get you, Barbara. So good. So good.
Okay, well, this has been a great episode, and wow, yeah, we got a lot of vampire stuff covered. This was a lot of fun. Thank you to the chat. Thank you to Lou for coming up with this great idea.
Yeah, man.
This was a lot of fun. And here's where you can find my Discord, where we may or may not be watching Roadhouse, depending on when Kane is in town next. Thank you, Kane. Speaking of Kane. But you can find me, OmniDogs Vault, on YouTube, OmniDogs_Vault on Instagram, and that Discord, where we will be having a showing of Roadhouse, I think. Something. Thank you, Hayden, for being here. You can come to my Discord for a special channel that's set up just for Hayden and Bunk. You'll go there and you'll see what I mean. So, peace and love. Wait, there's one thing I do have to do before we go, because it is so iconic and epic. Wait, where is this thing?
Oh, I love it.
I just wanted to play it once.
Every time. He's with us here in spirit.
He is here in spirit. Yes, he's here. He's here. And here's worst episode ever.
No, I think that would still be given to Pop-Tarts.
Pop-Tarts or Mad Libs. I think Pop-Tarts still had redeeming quality, but yeah, Mad Libs was our worst episode ever.
Hey man, what are you gonna do? We've been doing this for damn near 7 years. Sometimes you're gonna get some duds along the way. You know, every once in a while you get a few duds. It happens.
All right, people. Peace and love. Thank you for joining us. We had a blast, and we hope you did too. And go to In Stock Trades, and we are getting ready to say goodbye. Thank you for watching. Please hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell so you're notified, leave messages, You know.